This video is brought to you by my $5 or more patrons at patreon.com/AlexHeitz. Today we have Identitech, Andreas Glaesel, Laura G. Sanderson, Steve Aldersley, Anthony Coleman, Ray Schuster, David Dockery, Kurt David, and Aubrey Coper. Thank you all so much for supporting this channel, supporting me and my family, and sponsoring this video. I really hope you enjoy it. Take me out tonight. I want to see people and I want to see life. I could continue, but I won't because that's not why you guys came here. Hello. Hello everyone, how y'all doing? I hope you're all well. It's been a week since my last video, Marquee Moon Television. What a great album. Really liked it. I haven't come back to all the songs very regularly. I like Venus, but man, that title track has just kept me coming back. There's something about it. It's not a melancholy track, but it's not a bright track. It's not a dark track either. It's just like a really good, potent rock track. It's really hard to describe, but really good stuff. So thank you everyone for shoving that down my throats for the last however long, year or two. But yes. When was the last time I did Smiths? It's been a hot minute. What was it? World Won't Listen and Louder Than Bombs, which was February 22nd, 2019. It's been over a year since I visited the Smiths in any way. Well, actually, no, we did Electronic with Johnny Marr, but that was barely a Johnny Marr thing. That was pretty much just a Sumner project right there. So, but we're back today with Morrissey. We're finally doing Morrissey here. We're going to be doing 4 albums, maybe 5, quite possibly 5. Today we're starting with Viva Hate, and then we will do Bona Drag, Your Arsenal, Vauxhall and I. And if we feel so inclined, we'll do, I think it's 2002 or 2004's You Are the Quarry. Apparently these are pretty much the only Morrissey records worth actually checking out. Unless I become a rabid Morrissey fan, then I'll check out more. But these are kind of the heavy hitters, I think. So, yeah, housekeeping, what to talk about. I feel like I had some stuff here. I don't remember what it is. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the Patreon poll stuff here. I think I'll kind of play it by ear. If I enjoy the first couple albums, I'll probably tack on You Are the Quarry. And if that's the case, I'll either do 3 Morrissey albums, then a Patreon poll album, 2 to finish him out, or I'll do 2 Patreon poll, then 3 to finish him out. But I don't want to do just 4 or 5 Morrissey albums in a row without doing another Patreon poll album, because I want to kind of cut it up a little bit. So I was told in a YouTube comment, I believe it was, to make sure I'm not doing the 2012 remastered thing, because apparently they traded out The Ordinary Boys for a track called Treat Me Like a Human Being, and then they cut, oh gosh, which one is it? Late Night Maudlin Street. They cut that down a little bit by a minute or so, 30 seconds. That's not what I have, though. What I have here looks to be the proper, not remaster, I should say. So yeah, this is Viva Hate. Viva Hate, the debut solo album of Morrissey, 1988. 6 months after the final Smiths album, Strangerways, Here We Come. So Strangerways came out September of 87. By that point, the band had pretty much disbanded. They weren't really together anymore. So I assume they kind of dissolved before the album was released. And then October to December of 87, Morrissey records this and comes out with it in March of 88. So it's just right off the cuff of the Smiths. Morrissey must have been already kind of picking up with other people. So he does the vocals and the lyrics. And then Stephen Street, who I believe helped produce Strangeways, he helped with bass guitar, and just general songwriting. But then we have, what's this guy's name? Vinnie Riley, who is kind of the leader of the Daruti column, which is apparently a post-punk, ambient, dream pop, post-rock group. And I kind of looked into them a little bit, and I'm like, I gotta check them out. So if you guys have heard anything from the Daruti column, let me know, because that's really intriguing to me. Seems right up my alley. And he does guitars and keyboards on this, so looking pretty good. I think that's really all that I've got to say. Anton Corbin does some photography on it. The guy who's done music videos, and he directed Control, stuff like that. Anyway, I think we're just going to start. I don't have anything else to say. This just seems like a very straightforward kind of late 80s alt-rock thing. What I think is going to be the thing I'm like interested to see the most is what Morrissey brings to music. Because I've heard a couple standalone Morrissey tracks. I think one from his most recent album, like Bobby Don't You Think They Know or something like that. And then I think a couple others. I heard a little bit of a track off of Your Arsenal. But what I'm really curious to see in depth here is what he brings to the songwriting palette and how close this is to something like the Smiths in terms of the music, like the instrumentation, the composition. Because as far as I know, Morrissey was pretty much just vocal melodies and lyrics for the Smiths. And a lot of the arrangement kind of was left to Marr and the other two guys. Rourke and whoever the other guy's name is. Joyce. So that's going to be my most, not the thing I'm going to pay attention to most, but the thing I'm most interested to discover is like, okay, so we have just Morrissey here. We have some different people working on the composition and the playing. What's it going to be like? So let's find out. We have 12 tracks here. This is a 42-minute album. Let's just begin. Alsatian Cousin. Wow. So it says on here, all lyrics by Morrissey, all music by Stephen Street. So I'm not sure like what Vinnie Riley contributed to, like as far as like what songs and what parts. It just says guitars, keyboards. So I'm wondering if like Stephen Street kind of emulated some of the things that the Smiths did going into this, because like the distorted guitar isn't really a Smith staple. Obviously, Marr is a little more jangly, a little more clear and crisper, generally. But like the bass seemed very Smithian, it was kind of bouncing. It's a fine song. I didn't love it, but it's an interesting taste of what's to come, I think. So let's just keep trucking. Little Man, What Now? Fine. Just a tiny little track, not a whole lot to comment on. Yeah, I'm just kind of soaking it in, It's been a little while since I've reacted to Morrissey or much Smiths related stuff here. So it's like, I feel kind of like nostalgic in a weird way, It's like this was like the beginning when my channel started to get big, was like the Queen is Dead reaction, which is still very divisive to this day. Even though, where do I have this album right now? The Queen is Dead I have listed as my 6th favorite album of all time. So there you go, guys. There you go. It's kind of weird to like watch that video and see me react to some of those songs, and now they're some of my most beloved songs. But anyway, Every Day is Like Sunday. This is a single. What we got? Dang. I feel like, remember when I listened to Strangeways and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like that feels right in line with stuff off of Strangeways. And it's just some nice, simple, kind of jangly indie pop kind of stuff. Good crooning on Morrissey's part. You know, it's like that's the kind of stuff I'm used to now, you know? Solid. Solid. Let's keep going. These are very straightforward kind of pop rock songs, so I don't have a lot to say. But I'll kind of talk thoroughly about it at the end, I think, because these are pretty simple songs. I'm going to expect. Bengali in Platforms. Pleasant. Like I feel like that's like the highest praise I can give to some of these, because like I'm not expecting like great guitar work, you know, as sad as it is. But it's like it seems like he's working with solid people, solid players and writers. So I'm not complaining. You know, it's like as much of more as I can get. You know, as far as like more Smiths, this is the closest I can get to. Um, and it's like, you know, with Mars solo stuff, he's not a super fantastic lyricist, or he's not super great at writing vocal melodies. He's just really good on the guitar, and just arranging other instruments. So this is kind of like the other half, you know. Angel, Angel, down we go together. These really short interlude tracks are a little bizarre. They almost feel like demos that just got thrown in and didn't get turned into full songs. But when you take them like that, they're just fine. Late Night Maudlin Street. This is almost 8 minutes long. It's that time of year again. 95 degrees out. Ugh. In a room with zero airflow. It's the worst. It's the worst. But I'll make the note not to listen to any Cure albums in the middle of summer. That was a mistake. Um, yeah, another pleasant track. That's the thing. It's like, it's very inoffensive. It's not stupid. It's very simple. It's pretty straightforward. And it's just good to listen to. Just good music, solid music. It doesn't have a ton of personality, but it's interesting. Keeps your attention, you know. Suedehead. This is a big track, I know. Probably one of his bigger solo tracks. It's all over YouTube and stuff. Let's see what it's like. Um, That seems like a weird choice for like a single and like to be one of his biggest songs. Like I feel like Every Day Is Like Sunday was better. Even Late Night Maudlin Street was better. Wasn't a bad song. It was just that's really straightforward, simple. I don't know. It just seems bizarre that that was like the big song, but whatever. It's fine. It's good. It's good. Break Up the Family.
It's dead and blazing on my mind. I want to see all my friends tonight. Yes, you found love, but you weren't at peace with your life. 'Cause I really do love them. Now does that sound mad? So wish me luck, my friends, goodbye.
Fine. I feel like some of these songs are like a tad too long, like the 4 minute songs. I feel like they could just cut like 30 to 60 seconds off, and they'd be like perfect. Fine. So that's the thing is none of these songs are really like jumping out to me. Like I'm not like, ooh, except for maybe Every Day Is Like Sunday. That one for some reason just really struck a chord with me. But so far they're just all they go down easy. I don't want to say they're forgettable because I could go back to some of these. I think it's just when you obviously can't help but compare it to the Smiths, it's definitely not as good. Don't know. The Ordinary Boys.
Happy knowing nothing. Happy being no one. For you was so different. Ordinary boys. Happy going nowhere. You had to say no. When those empty fools try lucky, so lucky, so
It's weird how simultaneously these songs are running together in my mind, and yet I don't mind that. it's weird. Like I don't necessarily have like a criticism because like expectations can only be so high, right? When it's just Morrissey and Steven here. Um, but it's just like I'm simultaneously like and like it's like that's kind of the way I feel about it. Um, 3 tracks left, guys. I don't mind if you forget me. Is this the album talking to me directly? Without you, with or without you.
I don't mind. I don't mind having learned my lesson. I never left. I really do understand. Bye bye. Rejection is one thing, but rejection from a fool is cruel.
I had a little bit more of a rockier vibe. Felt a little different than some of the last, all of them. um, a little bit of like a kind of post-punk feeling bass in there too. Not bad, not bad. Nice little change up. Dial-a-Cliché.
Further into the fog I fall. Well, I was just a cliche. Person underneath, where does he go? Does he slide by the wayside? There's always time to change some. I've changed, but I'm in the cliche.
Last track. I have some things to comment on, but I'll kind of wait till the end. Margaret on the Guillotine.
The kind people, Margaret on a guillotine, make me feel so tired. When will you die? When will you die? Do not shelter this dream, make it real.
And there it is. There it is. So yeah, like I said, I don't know how much was his name Riley contributed to this, but that was like a very dreamy, kind of smooth track. But it was like, how best do you describe it? It's like Talk Talk's Laughing Stock meets Galaxy 500 with just like the basic guitar strumming, but then like some nice ornamental instrumentation on top. And of course, leave it to Morrissey to discuss having Margaret Thatcher's head cut off over a very dreamy kind of soft track. That's a very Morrissey thing to do. Obviously, harkening back to "Suffer Little Children," which was a song I fell asleep to while I was listening to it because it was just that relaxing, and the words just went over my head. But this one did not. This one I listened. Yeah, so solid album. Several of these songs I'll probably come back to. My favorites, Every Day is Like Sunday, was pretty good. Bengali and Platforms, Suedehead, and Break Up the Family were fine. They just could have been like slightly shorter, I think. What else? Late Night Maudlin Street was actually pretty solid. And then the last three were pretty interesting, one from the other. They kind of varied it up a little bit. I actually did enjoy that last track quite a bit. It was very pleasant. It just makes me more interested to check out the Durruti column or whatever it's called. Because if it's stuff like that, then count me in. Good. So yeah, solid album. This feels messy in a way, which is a weird thing to say after hearing all of these very simple, smooth, easy tracks. You know, it's like this is not a hard album to listen to whatsoever, especially if you're used to the Smiths. But it feels messy just because it doesn't feel like Morrissey has really found himself outside the Smiths yet, especially given that this is so raw right after Strangeways Here We Come, which was recorded the same year as this. Strangeways was recorded March and April, and this was recorded October and December. So it was 87 that he recorded both Strangeways and this album. So it's no surprise that, like, without his other guys here to help, it was just, you know, similar. I got a lot of Strangeways vibes from this. It definitely doesn't feel super post-punky or gothic like some of their earlier stuff did in terms of Queen is Dead and a little bit off the debut as well, some of their singles. It feels a lot, you know, brighter, I guess you could say. It does kind of feel like a janglier alt-rock kind of direction. But yeah, it does feel messy because it doesn't feel like he's fully found himself yet. He's close, and it's a pretty solid effort, especially given the time frame. But he's just not quite having his own voice here yet. But I can sense that, especially what I've heard kind of coming later, that he does find it pretty quick. He got knocked off the horse and got on his feet pretty quickly. So solid. Not great, not amazing, but pretty good. Whew. There's Viva Hate. Next album will be Bona Drag in 90. This is a compilation album. It's mainly singles, pretty even split between A-sides and B-sides. We have heard Every Day Is Like Sunday. We have heard Suedehead. But those are the only two that looks like that I've heard off of this thing. The rest are just A-sides and a couple B-sides. Cool. So that's supposed to be pretty solid, pretty good. And then we'll be skipping Kill Uncle to go into Your Arsenal in 92. And then finish off the 90s with Vauxhall and I. So there it is, guys. I hope you enjoyed. It's good to be back in the Morrissey camp, you know. I spent so long in Bowie land, which just was not quite my speed for 80% of it. There was a good 20% of David Bowie that I really was into and dug. And then, you know, television, you know, kind of a post-punk revival. It was the post-punk album that got revived, basically, which was good. It was good, but it's like, this is my territory, you know. Anything dream pop, shoegaze, jangle pop, somewhat melodic, post-punky kind of stuff, new wave. That's my bread and butter. That's when I'm in my element. So that's it. Next week, Bona Drag. I think, yeah, I'm expecting to tack on You Are the Quarry here. So what I'll do is we'll do Bona Drag and then Your Arsenal, and then after that, we'll do a poll. Okay, and I'm just gonna pick random albums. I think I'm just gonna do like a wild random selection of things I still need to listen to. It's not gonna be any theme, anything like that. I'm just gonna pick 4 random ones that I feel up to listening to, and we'll do it. So that'll be after Bona Drag and Your Arsenal. Okay, cool. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, favorite, subscribe, report, and hit the notification bell. Yeah, that's all I got. Okay, bye.